Back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We got game number 2. Going to be coming at you here. Lion Esports Club taking on Reason Gaming here in this series. And yes, again, to reiterate, Reason Gaming, formerly known as Justice League, again, doing a couple changes here, including no longer St. Rock's no longer being a part of the team. They got Own Me and TP's Prices back in, and this is their new 5-man roster here, as well as the name change, picking up a sponsorship there with Reason Gaming. Obviously, Reason Gaming does have a bit of history in HoN. It's been a long time since they've officially been back. I mean, there was a little bit of a stint there in the last couple of months where they kind of came back, but not really. But they are back now, at least for now. We'll see how that continues on. But it is a great organization, and good to see a name like that back into the scene, at least for now. Anyways, this series here, again, Lion Esports Club up 1-0. I mean, really, you know, what more else is there to say about that first game? As I was reiterating about that, I mean, the Grenix play was definitely phenomenal, really, from Jonas Fan, the fact what he was able to do. But that did really come down to a couple of fights, the one in the middle, and then just after that, the Kongor fight. I mean, Reason Gaming, they had chances. They did have great chances. They looked like that they were going to be able to start snowballing themselves, especially with that Puppets Farm, and to be very, very dangerous. But it wasn't enough. But at least for Reason, you know, knowing that they were able to compete so well against one of the best teams out there, Lion Esports Club, again, has to be a good feeling. So we'll see how they move on into game number 2. With that said, we got Kraken, the first pick. Engineer, the quick response from Lions, and went Bubbles, and then Moon Queen coming out from Lion Esports Club. So they decided to go the Moon Queen route this time. The bans were Ophelia, Tempest, Keeper, and Warbeast, by the way. Similar to last game. I believe last game we did see that Sandwraith ban, though. So wonder if he may make an appearance here. If anything, it would be on the side of Reason Gaming. And well, there you go. There you go. They answer right away with a carry of their own, and they go the Sandwraith option themselves. So again, just an annoying, just a really difficult carry to deal with. Going to be picked up here for the Legion team, so definitely a nice lineup shaping up, but so is Lions, of course. Andromeda, Engineer, Moon Queen. Neither team going the jungle route, but again, when you have Ophelia, Tempest, Keeper, Warbeast being banned out, Parasite is still there, but I mean, it wouldn't be out of the question here for the Legion side, actually, but actually, well, Hanskin's like, yeah, not even going to give them an option. They banned the Parasite, so not going to see that. You see Ravener into Scout as far as the ban so far. Yeah, you can't really ban Grenix. Never mind, you do ban Grenix. Apparently you do. And boy's like, yeah, he was annoying. And I see why. I mean, again, Grenix was damn annoying last game to deal with. He was very annoying to deal with. He was a huge factor why Lions was able to kind of, I don't even want to call it a comeback really, but why they were able to start the momentum and start taking the lead there and eventually win the game. So they just don't want to deal with it this time around. Kind of one of those momentum bans, really. I don't think, you know, the next time they play Lions, they're not going to be banning Grenix by any means, but that's just because they did very well in game 1. Just take him out here for game 2. But this does leave open the likes of something like Devourer, Prisoner even, as possible options here for Super KG. They went with the Ravener ban, but didn't follow that up, of course. But yeah, wouldn't be surprised to see one of those two possibly pop up here on the side of Lions. We'll see what they go with in the end, though. There is still Wretched Hag on the board, actually. Hag's made it this far, and that actually wouldn't be out of the question by Lions at all either. I mean, Hag's definitely, in fact, Jonas a fan playing that Suicide Hag. Does play it from time to time. So, and we were talking about the last series. Fantasy was pointing out a stat how in the Sound Blaster Heroes League, I think he said it was something like a 67% win percentage on Wretched Hag, which is the highest of any hero during the SBHL. And there had to be, I mean, there was a good amount of games from that. I want to say there was something a total of like 40 to 50 games there, maybe even more even. But so yeah, some pretty good data right there. And again, Hag has been a very popular hero. In fact, first pick by a lot of teams even, but left open to this point. So I wouldn't be surprised to see Lions maybe go that option here. You do see a Luna picked up by Reason Gaming, so they get at least one of their support options here. The way things are shaping up, very possibly it could be a second one now. But there's also the question with the way these lineups are going is the possibilities of doing some kind of trialing action here on either side. I mean, we all know, we've seen it lately even, that the aggressive Moon Queen trial lane wouldn't be out of the question. They do go the Wretched Hag in the end. Yeah, not surprised to see that. I assume that's going to be more of the Suicide Hag, though. Or, you know, in this case, maybe something like a short lane hag, even a mid hag, depending what their final couple of picks are, if they do choose to run more of that aggressive trial lane on the side of Lions. But usually, if anything, usually that will tend to be more the case if they're running a passive jungler, which obviously not a team is. But at the same time, if you feel like you can match up, but actually now with that behemoth pick, there you go. I mean, it looks like, and I want to say that's more defensive, though. I want to say they're expecting an aggressive trial lane over here. They run the behemoth Luna, a very good roam potential, on top of just being great trial lane, especially for defensive purposes, for obvious reasons, especially with behemoth. So maybe running those two with Sandwraith could be very powerful. And also a nice little benefit there, Sandwraith with that Desert's Curse up. He is able to go over the Fissure stun, so you have a little bit more freedom to not worry about blocking him out or whatever, or getting him killed even. So it's going to be interesting to see if that's ultimately what we see here from our Legion team. But it's shaping up, honestly, like I'm very likely maybe. So now for Lions, their final pick, and they're kind of thinking about here. Cthulhu Font, what do they say? It's going to be Flux actually coming out, so they get the Flux NG combination. But now with that Flux pick, I mean, so what does it all mean? What does it all mean? I really am not certain at all what we're going to see here from Lions, especially. They could run an aggressive trial lane. They could just go for more of the 2-2-1 setup here. Something like an NG Flux mid, your Moon Queen Andrew top. I think that's what they probably will do. They got the hack for suicide. So although Reason Gaming may be setting up for more of that defensive tri lane of Sandwraith, Luna, Behemoth, you know, they'll probably make adjustments themselves fairly quickly as a result of what Lions may do here. But again, that's all speculation. So here we go now. Game number 2. Let's take a look and see what's going on. By the way, while we are transitioning now, I wanted to update you on the other series that are obviously going on now. Let me just do a quick refresh. Okay, some of them have finished. So Denial Esports actually does take the first game off of IG over there, so they're up 1-0. tmsR takes the first game over the Law, so 1-0 tmsR, and then Stay Green 1-0 over Masked Muchachos. So all series are now going into game 2, at least if not in game number 2 now. Looks like in the round of A. As far as the losers bracket, nothing too crazy to talk about there. Team Excellent is up 1-0 in their series. And We Are Spies actually already advancing on as they got a forfeit win because shit happens. Forfeited that first round and thus didn't even advance on to the losers bracket. So anyway, just some quick updates right there. As far as what else is going on, the events tab on HoNTour.com. You can check it all out for yourself. All right, so how are things being set up? How are things being set up? They are doing the aggressive trial lane. Okay, so they are going to be doing it. They're going the Andro Engineer Moon Queen here. So it looks like the decision to go this kind of defensive trial lane here by Reason Gaming may pay off. I mean, both sides definitely have some good kill potential. The obvious advantage here for the Hellborn team is they have a lot of range advantage. Again, Behemoth is kind of one of those, yes, he's a melee hero, of course, but his main ability is that long-range ability. So just because he's a melee hero, obviously he can't really box out as effectively, but he still brings that range presence in that sense of the very long-range stun. You see what Lions is doing here. They're going to probably try to block this pole camp. They do. Doing it from a very hidden spot, though. They didn't want to give anything away. As far as what was going on, there's a block. Oh, the block attempt on a Moon Queen. That was close. If he was on this side, I don't think they would have gone all out by any means, but yeah, probably not, actually. It would have been too much of a risk. So, but in the end, using some mana, he probably has some good mana potions. Yeah, 3 mana potions on and more now. You see Lunas actually has nothing on here, so basically giving all the regen to Behemoth over here. As he's going to be one spamming. There you go once again. Some power, though, so yeah, expect that to constantly be happening here from the Legion side. Just a lot of spammage coming out between Luna and Behemoth. That's definitely a reason why you can pick up that combination. So the other lanes quickly before I'm sure we may see some action at the bottom. You got your Flux versus Bubbles mid. Going to be fun to see how that one turns out. I think both sides should have a solid advantage, especially being in that middle lane. I don't really see that overwhelming on either side, but I may be wrong. So, but then Kraken versus Wretched Egg at the top lane. And again, the HoN build, I'm sure, from Jonas the Fan going to be coming out here to heavily harass the Kraken. But Kraken can also hold his own. It looks like he got pulled at least a little bit of reach in there with the Tree Eaters. And so it shouldn't be too bad, but maybe a slight advantage for the Wretched Hag there as far as the overall farm goes. So, but back to the bottom lane again. This is going to be the fun one down here as far as how this shapes up. Mana batteries, very important in Try versus Trial lane. You see Moon Queen's the first one to pick one up, and actually there's a stun on the Engineer, but again, no really follow-up. The supports, Hanskin and Seal Kid are playing passive enough. There's initiation on Samwraith, though. Not going to be the biggest, though. He is going to be fine. And actually, Will does its curse, but again, not the biggest deal in the world. So both teams just kind of feeling each other out right here as far as what's going to be happening in terms of the Try versus Trial lane. So again, Behemoth, he's just not afraid to use that fissure stun. Never possible. They did counter ward this ward aside over here. I think there was a ward aside over here at least. I believe there was initially. So as far as vision goes, I mean, they do have a ward aside actually in their lane. They put a rev ward behind as well in case they were going for the aggressive ward. Not going to happen. The comms on to Behemoth, the fissure to, not the fissure, but the keg's going to fall. There's the move. Behemoth, not great lockdown coming out. And Bloodlust kill will go in favor of Lion Esports Club. Great rotation of the stuns right there. That was nearly perfectly staggered, if not perfect. Hanskin, though, in the meantime, he's taking a lot of return damage, but so was Sandwraith. The keg stun hits, and now Moon Queen putting in those auto attacks. The Imba boy's like, okay, I got to get the hell out of here. One more auto attack will do the job, catching. Finally, he's getting through the trees. He's trying to take a dive. Oh, Moon Queen gets stutter stepped a little bit. He's fine for now. Somehow, no, the final auto attack finally goes off. Man, oh, man, that was that's something. As a spectator, you're like, just attack him, but obviously everyone knows as a player, those are frustrating times when they're juking and jiving in the trees like that. It can really be annoying, but in the end, they do get the kill on to Sandwraith. So the big picture, obviously, well played for Lions. They have the 2-for-1 exchange down there at that bottom lane when it's all said and done. So, or excuse me, somebody else, did I miss something? Holy crap, Super KG died mid, yeah. He died mid during all that action, so Bubbles actually, that's a big kill for him. And obviously that's showing now in that farm, 14-3 compared to a Flux who's 12-5, so kind of even right there. But Samwraith again, the lockdown, Fissure Stun comes out, but not nearly, or it is enough to hold them off. But obviously that would have been a bit of a tower dive. Nice job with your Ro8 right there. Cancel the health potion. Only got a little bit of life from that, so they're very low on regen now on the Legion side here. As far as the Hellborn side is concerned, they have a Ring of the Teacher up, they have mana batteries up on 2 of the heroes, and they still have a health potion to use. So this is looking a lot better here for Lion Esports Club as far as the start is concerned right now. They got to be feeling pretty good with that. Moon Queen's farm is pretty damn good, 360 gold per minute. How's the Suicide doing up here? Kraken not so well. Yeah, Wretched Hag, Jonas fan, he's having a fantastic time. The bottle picked up. So the extra just constant harassment. You see Zane having to go over to the observatory and buy a health potion right there. Again, it's just proving to be, as soon as that regen ran out, I'm sure, proving to be very, very difficult. Bottom lane, Moon Queen being jumped on. Bubbles is here. He comes in with the kill fill. They're going to look to follow this up. Keksa misses, unfortunately. And Fuzi, oh man, better at the last second. He's not going to survive, though. He will fall. In comes Flux, though. There goes the release. Here comes the Magnetic Surge on top of that. Gets the kill onto a Luna. Behemoth now being chased down. Samwraith will chase out Engineer in the process. The final auto attack to finish off Behemoth now. But now Samwraith, he's just going to run on through. And that should be the end. Oh, maybe not. Releases Hughes. Hasted Flux. He's doing some work right here. Couple more auto attacks. She gets the top down. Magnetic Surge into one. He goes for the auto attack. Gets the hat trick. But it will cost him his life in the end as I Like Ducks, a.k.a. Own Me, gets the double tap himself. Nice sidestep from Andromeda there to prevent any further. But wow. I mean, both sides sending the reinforcements. Obviously, Flux coming in after the bubbles ported in. I think with the way that finished, though, I don't know. I think if anything, that might have been very even. I mean, Bubbles picking out Flux really made it even, if anything. I mean, Bubbles now start is actually looking pretty damn good at 382 gold per minute. So good rotation coming up from him. But Flux also choosing not to get the ultimate here. I'm actually blanking if he was actually level 6 during that. I want to say he was level 5 when that started at least. So. But even during / after, he chooses not to get the ultimate here. And again, that's not really out of the question by any means, but I do wonder if he was level 6 going into that, and if he had his ultimate, it maybe might have been the more useful. But if anything, to push them away, because could have even seen Moon Queen initially. But anyways, big picture. After 6 minutes now, this is proving to be a very action-heavy game, as we're already 5-5 hero kills now, 10 in total, if you do the math. Pretty simple. Kind of some adjustments being had here. You see Engineer going in the middle lane now. And going to be a babysit to Flux. Look at the middle lane, though, for the Legion team. Kraken and a Lunar in the background. You got Bubbles pushed up, and here we go. Kelfil gonna come out. Flux and Ninja like, oh crap, it was a trap all along. Tor comes out. They're releasing Kraken out. Will's trying to pull in Flux. Prather goes through, and Super KG is gonna fall right there. So good execution. And Onmi now at 390 gold per minute. So that was bait all along. And yeah, Lions, they didn't see it off the bat. They did not see it off the bat. They played it a little bit aggressive, and that backfired. So top lane, you have Moon Queen obviously making her way all the way up there. So you have some big adjustments coming out here. Especially from Lions. Wretched Hag, where is she going? She's going mid. I assume that's not because she could have gone bottom, and they are pushing up the lane right now. I'm a little surprised she actually went mid right there. Did Jonas some fan, but Flux may go mid himself now, maybe. Nope, he went mid as well. No, where did he go? Where the hell is Flux? Flux went top. Okay. They're going to try for a kill. They're going to go for a kill on a Kraken. He doesn't have the release. Never mind. Moon Queen porting away. So, all right, what the hell is going on, man? There's a lot of movement going on here. From Lion Esports Club especially. All right. So here we are. Moon Queen now at the bottom lane once again. Made her way back down here. Ro8, he was having some good time. Some finally free farm coming out here. But obviously that's changing now with the Moon Queen appearance. And finding himself falling back even. So Flux. So really it ends up being just kind of a switch between the top and the middle lane when it's all said and done. You got Flux going top now instead, and Hag's actually just going to go mid. As currently Bubbles is roaming, and he actually bottles up a haste rune. So he's got the Kelfil ready to go. Definitely kill opportunity to be had. Wretched Hag, she's going to roam towards the top lane. Maybe a little bit of dive attempt going to be coming out right here. They do a Flux, so some ultimate. Can set up some nice synergy there, but no, I'm not going to go for it. Instead, heads back towards mid. And Bubbles should be fine here. Again, he has a haste rune. Wretched Hag, though, coming in with a flank. Going to apply some presence here. Sono Scream coming out, but no, Bubbles will be more than fine. Bottom lane in the meantime, Ro8. Where is he porting to? Ro8 pointing to the top lane. They're going for Flux. Kraken, he already used his ultimate. Flux was able to survive it, even without his own discharge. But you see Onmi right there on Bubbles. As John St. John just said, he is a five-star stud. Indeed he is. He is 5-0-1 here. 390 gold per minute. Good cutoff right there. Bottom lane, not really action, just more so stalling. But Steam Boots bottle, power supply, he's well on his way to an earlier on portal key here. Bubbles proven to be the big factor here for Reason Gaming, to say the least. That is for sure. Ro8, that 220 gold per minute. Obviously, him being level 7 now, especially. He's more active with that moon. Finale going to be activated right here. It should be enough for the Kona Luna at least. Holy crap, it wasn't actually. Finally gets to kill the Moonbeam now to Behemoth, but they were kind of lost at the sight right there. Now this could backfire. Bubbles a stun from Andromeda. That was huge. Oh, that was huge, because without that stun, that Kelfil would have hit both Engie and Moon Queen most likely, and they would most likely both be dead right now. So that was a big Comet stun coming out from Sioka. The Kelfil is still going to come out. They will still get the kill on Engineer, but if anything, that still ended up saving your Moon Queen. So still very, very worth it there coming out. But this continues to go back to Bubbles. The movement is just absolutely insane here. He's 6-0-2. He's been involved in 8 of the 9 hero kills already, and we are only 10 minutes into this game. Huge, huge start for him. Flux, he does eventually get that discharge. He actually used it that last fight, it looks like. I think he might have used it for the push right there, if I'm not mistaken. So trying to assist, and again also helping be a savior in Moon Queen, I'm sure. Speaking of Moon Queen, she's going for the earlier on Energizer, especially with so much fighting going on. Definitely makes sense, and wouldn't be surprised to also see earlier on Shrunken Heads coming out here. Speaking of the Energizer, though, Ro8 also sitting on his own Soul Scream ring here. He does have his Mirage up, so, and guess who's back? Bubbles with the Invis. He doesn't have Kelfil just yet. 20 more seconds on that. The Invis is lasting longer, though, so there was a Rev Ward down here, so you need to be careful with that, but he doesn't want to spend too much time. He's actually going to go back to the middle lane. He does have a couple of TPs on him even, so if action does pick up, he will be able to TP in and assist if need be, so. Lion Esports Club, as soon as they've seen Bubbles mid, they're going to start playing a little more aggressive bottom, it looks like. See Andromeda in the background. Oh, he's going to find Behemoth. The follow-up, though, will it be in time? You see Desert Skirts coming out. Ports are coming in now as well. And now Engineer in some trouble. Kraken, the Fisher Stone wasn't the best. It almost blocking off his own teammates, but Bubbles jumps in. The Sorry, let's see. The Kelfil comes out. Wretched Egg forced to blink away, takes the stun herself. Will that be enough to get away? It looks like it, so she is going to be fine. But again, the response, I mean, that was being all set up. This is amazing. I mean, Bubbles is 8-0-2. At 11.5 minutes into this game, nearly 12 minutes, this is against Lion Esports Club. 8-0-2 Bubbles here. Holy crap. He is just carrying his team right now in terms of doing so much. And again, Lion Esports Club, they just seemed like they were kind of caught off guard by that. And I am a little surprised as to why that would have been why that was the case, because I mean, they were pushing into that. They knew they had TPs and everything. They know it's a difficult team to really commit to. And that did backfire yet again. So Flux is going to push the top lane in the meantime. Man, nope, invulnerability coming out. Sandwraith, he ports in, release the Kraken coming out as well. The auto attack's going to prove to be too much here for Flux as he falls. Now they will get the tower kill. Does Lion Esports Club, and actually a hasted Wretched Hag is flying in, but they're not going to commit any further than that. So a little bit of a positive there for Lions, but still some great movement coming out from Reason Gaming as a whole. Again, taking advantage of their team synergy here. Moon Queen and Engineer going to push the bottom lane in the meantime. And Bubbles going to push out mid. And Bubbles is doing all this without a portal key, too. I mean, you got to figure once he gets that portal key especially. He's also going to be looking, very possibly will be level 11 as well. When he gets that portal key, and obviously see the benefits of the Kelphield that brings. The stun as well as the extra magic damage. Is there a lesser cooldown too? No, the cooldown stays the same. Top lane, Wretched Hag against Kraken. Not too much going to happen up there, but other than just a little bit of back and forth harassment. So now follow-up items. Energizer is finished on Sandwraith, but now you got Moon Queen. She is buying the Helm of the Victim, so of course going to be working into that Whispering Helm here. Again, that goes back to, I don't know. I feel like, honestly, Shrunken Head, rushing straight into that Shrunken Head might have been definitely the safer choice. But, you know, it goes back to the obvious. The obvious is that it's not that extra farming tool necessarily. And you could start falling behind Immaboy on Sandwraith if you don't go for that extra farming tool here with the Whispering Hail. But now Moon Queen might be in trouble. She's in a lot of trouble, actually. Moon Finale coming out. Sandwraith taking a lot of returns. Sandwraith will fall. However, this should be a Katakail lose. Moon Queen is going to end up going down as well as Engineer. So it took the bait of Sandwraith, but guess who came again? Bubbles ends up coming in. In the meantime, though, Behemoth being locked down. He gets pulled in with it. Actually falls. Luna also gets distracted, and she will die too. So the end picture, numbers-wise, Lion Esports Club actually comes out on top of that fight right there. 3-2 exchange, and both teams did lose their hard carry in the end. And now you see Flux is going to pick up some farm down here. So that is good news. So again, Bubbles, he has the portakey, obviously, used it right there. So that is proving already to, as expected, be a great pickup. But the end result definitely at least leaned a little bit more in towards the Lions, if anything, with the exchange. How is Jonathan Fan doing in farm? He's doing good, 350. So despite Moon Queen, not doing the best, Jonathan Fan is doing solid. However, Sandwraith, he's porting it on Andromeda. Unbelievable. And that's an easy kill. So, yeah, that's just the case. Again, the jump, the gotcha potential here on Allegiance side. 11-0. I continue to just be astonished, honestly. 11-0-2 Bubbles. I'm not going to jinx it. I'm not going to jinx it because, but holy crap, are we on our way to just an insane numbers performance? And again, this isn't some random two teams going at it. This is a round of 8 here in Cycle 6 Diamond Division. Reason Gaming against Lion Esports Club. He's 11-0-2, and that's just the stats speak for itself. So, okay, enough of that though. You see him and Kraken actually here in the middle. They're going to go for more kills. Release, or not release Kraken, but Kelphield coming out right there. See a take over to kind of dodge the extra destroys right there with the shell serve. Not only the biggest follow-up, though, and actually they might need to fall back. Oh, never mind. Flux, he's going to be charged in as well. And there's the follow-up. Down he goes, but at what cost? Say now in some trouble. Release Kraken in the background. Beautiful placement, actually, but they really can't follow up after that. Energy field came down, and that prevented from any more. So it ends up being a 1-for-1 right there again. And Bubbles, actually, he's trying to get away now. Hag's chasing. Hag needs to be careful, though. Fidget Stun comes out, and that should be the end of that. As Refreshment Rune is picked up right here. Sandwraith picking up free farm at the bottom lane while this is all happening, but so is Moon Queen. And again, she did go the Whispering Helm route, so it isn't more of that farming tool compared to a Shrunken Head. So far, it's paying off. Bubbles middle lane going to be swapped in. Actually, Song of the Sea misses it, and Bubbles will fall right there, so the streak ends. And that's big. That's a 645 gold bonus there for Wretched Hag. That's what I was kind of getting at when, you know, obviously he was on his way to even possibly something like an Immortal at this rate earlier on in the game. But, okay, he does die right there, so it stops at 11 kills and 3 assists. But that's a 645 bonus gold there for Wretched Hag. That's, you look at it right now, 3,100 gold all of a sudden saved up on him. So the bonus, no doubt, helping. That was a big kill right there in the middle lane. Again, Bubbles got a little panicked right there. The Song of the Sea didn't hit anybody as he got swapped. And he eventually fell shortly after, so. Moon Queen now taking out some stacks in the jungle, and Moon Queen is starting to really pick up that farm. And yeah, this was basically the Lions saying, no, we are still confident that we can out-farm you in the end. We're going to go the Whispering Helm of Moon Queen. We're going to stack up our jungle, and we're going to out-farm your Sandwraith, especially in this game. And right now, that's proving to be definitely the better decision here. Bubbles, especially now with that death. Again, he's still doing awesome. But that does slow things down a bit, and Hag might just, I don't know. I mean, I want to say Hag might just even go for a straight Shrunken here, but he does already have the Apprentice robe, so okay. Ooh, Icon of the Goddess coming out here from Jonasephan. I like it. I like it. You know, they have the Moon Queen. She's their carry. She is doing very well this game. 422 gold per minute right now. Why not get an Icon of the Goddess? Especially with how active this game has proven to be. And continue to be more active and, you know, benefit from it, especially. Extra benefit even. Coming out. So double damage ring on Moon Queen currently. Coming out for her. Sandwraith, 1,400 gold saved up. As far as what he goes for, I mean, he's kind of in that spot now too. Does he go for the Shrunken here, knowing that there's a lot of fights continuing to happen, or does he go for, say, a Firebrand into an eventual Geometer's Bane, into a Dawnbringer even? A lot of questions to be answered. I don't think it's going to be a Mock. I think it's obviously this is not a pace of a game that you want to be going to Mock or Brilliance by any means. But again, we'll see what he goes for. Some tower exchanging going on right here. They're still going mid though. Moon Queen still has that double. No, it actually just wore off right there. So not going to be any longer. Portal Key just purchased by Flux though. That's going to be delivered in the meantime. And they're going to play patient, and they're actually just going to fall back as Lion Esports Club. So Sandwraith is continuing to farm bottom, and I mean, at this rate, he might be going for that Mock. Let's see. Will he purchase something here is the question. If he purchases something here, then obviously not. But if he doesn't, I think he might be. I think he might be going for the Mock at this rate, it looks like. So if he can manage to get that before too much else happens in this game, then that could prove to be, again, a good pickup for him. At the same time, though, Firebrand does give you more defensive benefits with the armor, the extra move speed. And then the eventual build-up of it, too, also very nice. But, yeah, the Mock obviously just a lot of raw damage. Good at great AoE, of course. And feeling like that might be the choice here for Imbaboy. Playing the Sandwraith. So, speaking of him, in the middle lane, he almost got caught out right there. Andromeda was charging in, ready for a swap. Not going to happen, though. Flux, again, has that portal key, so that's the other thing to also now start worrying about here for the Legion team. They got that Flux Engie combination. Basically good to go here. Outside of Engie having a portal key himself, this is pretty much full throttle. Middle tower, it should be an easy kill for Lions. I don't think Recent Gaming is going to look for, they might actually. Here comes, no, the Fidget Stone actually just out of range right there. On to Engineer. You see the Desert Curse coming out, but Engie should be fine at the end. If that Fidget Stone hit, he probably was dead, but Fidget Stone was actually just out of range right there from Embry, so not going to be the case. Not going to be the case. And Lions, again, they will fall back. See the top lane. Bubbles is pushing it out. He actually already has a Blessed Orb picked up. So well on the way to a Sheepstick now even, and again, at the way he's farming, 440 gold per minute, he continues to be at the top there. Barely now, but he's still at the top. Getting a Sheepstick this early on, huge, huge, huge. Okay, he's not going the Mock, by the way. He actually goes the Mighty Blade out. Yeah, I'm guessing it's going to be Shrunken. So going for more of the I want to fight now build. But that does mean his farm is not going to be able to keep up at all now with the Moon Queen. Moon Queen's farm is definitely going to excel much, much better for the Hellborn side. You know, Hack too, that is kind of interesting. So he did pick up the icon, and again, kind of hindsight now, but it's almost, honestly, with the way the game's been playing out here, he probably would have been better off just going straight into Grimoire, if that's especially what he is going for now. But he went the icon first. Again, I can't blame him. The game has just been insane. I mean, hell, we're still 27 hero kills, still at 21.5 minutes. 22 minutes is still pretty crazy. And we've had this score for now 2 or 3 minutes, even not longer. So, yeah, you can't blame him expecting fights to still take place, but obviously that hasn't been the case. So, now I'm going to kind of switch things up here. Still a great item pickup for him. Still does the job in the end. Maybe just not as soon as expected. Behemoth Portal Key. Looks like that's going to be coming out, so that's a pretty big deal too. as one should know. I mean, Behemoth getting the Portal Key, talking about core items on him. That's really what he needs. He also has a Amulet of the Exile, so has enough mana really to bust out a combo here. If he finds that opportunity, that's what they're going to be looking for, of course. Energizer actually picked up by Engineer as well. Interesting. They already got one on Moon Queen. He gets one himself. Got a couple ways now to use that. Moon Queen, speaking of her, 29 more 100 gold saved up, so Geometer's Bane well in the works. Actually might just be that Shrunken Head, though, honestly, but we'll see. Speaking of Shrunken, Sandwraith is just about there to picking up his own Shrunken, but you can continue to see the disparity between him and Moon Queen. It's just growing for Moon Queen. Upwards to now 110 gold per minute higher. And actually leading the way, pushing this top lane. They do not have Wretched Hag with them. Wretched Hag's actually at the bottom lane, kind of scouting things out here. He's going to run right into a level 7 Luna. Very little to no items. Bat Blast comes out. That's an easy kill. But guess who's here? Bubbles and Sandwraith were right here. Will it be enough for the counter? Oh, the fissure stood at the last second. Jonathan Fan's going to fall. Oh, that Embry, that made up for that missed fissure stun middle, man. If it wasn't for that, he was probably TPing out right there. But the fissure stun coming just in time. And that's a huge counter kill. I mean, that's a level 7 Luna with just red boots for a level 14 Hag that's picking up a lot of farm. So big kill by Recent Gaming. However, their top lane is going to be aggressively pushed in now. Aggressive push at the top side. Obviously, Hag's going to remain dead. He has buyback, but absolutely no point here. Sandwraith kind of pushing bottom. Of course, does have his ultimate, though. There's Behemoth jumping on Engineer. Going to be locked down. He will get time right off the bat. No energy field. Behemoth, though, taking the counter. Moon Finale was going out. Bouncing around. Sandwraith absorbing a lot of damage, I'm sure. Moon Queen now in trouble. And there's the follow from Bubbles. The Shells will now finish him off. So the Legion team coming through big time there in the end. They get the 3 for nothing exchange. Hag is going to resurrect right here. Flux just gets. Flux didn't even ulti. Flux didn't have a chance to use his discharge, I guess. I mean, a huge start there for the Legion team. So that's that Portal Key on Behemoth. I wonder if they knew he had that at that point. But jumping Engineer like they did, I mean, again, that's a big part of that combination, him and Flux. Without an energy field, it does take away a lot from that Flux discharge. So, great target choice there from the Legion side. Engineer, you also got to question a little bit. Engineer was actually really pushed up there. He was one of the ones in the front line. So, obviously, he kind of has to be in that area for the good placement of the energy field. But, yeah, Behemoth, just a better reaction, and well, they get the kill onto him. So, obviously, Reason Gaming making some big plays right there and buying more time, if anything, for Sandwraith. And that's the other thing, too. Speaking of Sandwraith, the Mirage coming out. That Moon Finale was used very early by Moon Queen, and I got to assume the Mirage Illusions actually absorbed a couple hits at least. I mean, it didn't seem like it was doing the most damage overall to the actual heroes. So that was only a level 3. She will have level 2. She will have level 3 here shortly. Wretched Hag again getting cut. Oh, the Tsunami Charge misses! Zane missed the Tsunami Charge. He couldn't really get the angle. He wanted to go for the stun, but the Fissure Stun was kind of blocking him in the angle to cut him into the tree. So he probably should have just gone for the damage instead, but instead he whiffed it all. And obviously the end result was, well, Wretched Hag blinking away. So Jonathan Fan nearly getting caught out again in the jungle. This time, it does actually blink away, though. And it's going to be fine. Wow, that was close.
Don't look back.
What is Sandwraith doing? Sandwraith, they're going bottom. They're going for Flux down here. Flux has that discharge again. They're not going to matter. He basically just stands still at that point. Super KG pretty much knowing he's caught out. So this movement, this aggressive play now continuing to pick up here for Recent Gaming is clearly affecting Lion Esports Club. and taking it to them. But you do look back at the Moon Queen, always a factor of her. 1,700 more gold saved out, so she does finish the Geometer's Bane, of course. But now Shrunken Head definitely would be out of the question. Bottom tower, though, easily destroyed by our Legion side. And now Sam Wraith, he's also going to start working towards his first damage on a pickup. So we'll see what that is. Again, he has another 3,200 gold saved up, so could easily at least pick up the Firebrand here into the Geometer's Bane if that's what he's going for. But I don't know. I want to say, I mean, the way he's saving up gold, he already has a Shrunken. It's like, is he actually going for a Mach here? Next, even? It's, you know, I mean, that might be the logic of that if he wants to try to really compete with the Moon Queen and farm. You might feel like he needs a Mach of Brilliance, but we'll see. We'll see what he goes for. There's the Acolyte Staff on Bubbles, and the Mana Tube's going to be shortly after. So Sheepstick is finished now on Bubbles. You have that Sheepstick, so he's working off that phenomenal start he had of 11-0-3. He's 11-1-5 now, so clearly that has slowed down. Bottom lane, they're going to jump Wretched Hag, and they'll lock down way too much. That's the initiation of Behemoth for you. Sam Wraith, he didn't even pour. He used the illusions, but obviously not even necessary there in the end. Behemoth just had the jump, used it, and got the easy kill. Hoping to assist with his team. And they're going to fall back before they push too much, though. But yeah, the Sheepstick actually delivered right there, so now he has great initiating tool, especially on the Moon Queen and the Wretched Hag. So Reason Gaming, just like the first game, even more so this game though. This is looking pretty damn good for them. Obviously Lions pulled through with that first game, but I mean this one's definitely different here. This one's definitely a little bit different. Siege Kongor taking some good damage. So Lions is actually going to go for the Kongor steal, not even really steal, just the sneaky Kongor. And actually I think they're going to get it. That just hit me what actually was going on, but yeah, they're going to get a free Kongor. I mean, they have the Sword Aside here from TP's Priceless, but I guess either they just snuck into the pit or they really feel like they can't fight this. I mean, they don't have Barrage, they don't have a Kelfield, they don't have Shockwave, so it probably makes sense, even if they did see them, why they just weren't comfortable. But that's a token of life now, Moon Queen, with also another 3,500 gold saved up here. So it's, again, a dangerous Moon Queen. We all know what she can do. What did Sandwraith buy, by the way?
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
1,400 gold now. He doesn't have any new items on him. And am I missing something? No. There must be something in his stash. I didn't see what he actually bought. Flux is going to get caught out here. Flux is going to be picked. He got the Shrunken Head right before he died, at least, so he bought it. But
choo-choo, motherfucker.
Exactly, Samuel Jackson. Exactly. That's what's going on here from the Legion team. They're playing how they should be. Samuel Jackson, best co-caster. Okay, we'll go the Mach of Brilliance. So yeah, there is that logic, I guess, coming out here from Imba Boy. And you know, I feel like I don't know. I feel like honestly, at this point, he could have gone a Firebrand. He could have gone a Searing Light here. Eventually, a Dawnbringer. And honestly, that could have been a even safer / even more efficient route. But I don't know. He is going to go the Mach of Brilliance again. It's hard to say a Mach is ever bad. It's just you usually don't see the Mach this late. 30-minute Mach is a lot later than expected, but he does have it now, and is going to continue to farm at the bottom lane in the meantime. Engineer, wow, he's found himself a little bit of a friend, but not so much a friend. He actually ports out before they make anything happen with that. Shrunken Head is delivered to Moon Queen, so she really has her core now. On top of that token of life, of course. We'll see what item she can go for next. At this rate, I'm thinking Wingbow, honestly, would be huge here. Especially against Samwraith, then knowing that he went the Mach here. I guess it wouldn't be out of the question for him to go with Savage Mace by any means, but I think Wingbow would be a pretty damn good pickup for him. Finishing that symbol also, obviously, would be a solid choice. I think the more damage, though, might be needed here. Samwraith in the meantime. Samwraith actually gets the double. But the counter from Behemoth. Jumping Engineer. Engineer will fall. Behemoth now is going to start to run away because Wretched Hag joins the party. Mirage going to be used by Samwraith. He actually ports. He ports over here from Andromeda. Andromeda has a swap. Can she get in range? It doesn't look like it. The getaway coming out from Samwraith. And Eluda is also going to try to survive. She actually might not, though. Yeah, she will be picked up. Behemoth even cut out of there. And that ends up being a 1-for-1 NG for Behemoth. So a lot being used right there again. But a support for support is how it'll be finished there between the two teams. I love TP's prize. He always has a hatchet on him, man. It's obviously not even his, but he's the hatchet keeper here for his team. But yeah, so you do see what's happening though. Lions is obviously pushing the bottom, but look at the top lane. Bubbles kind of pushing that. And now you got Kraken pushing the mid. So they will get the bottom tower, but that is going to be the end of that road right there for Lions. They're going to head back mid and look to defend now. Oh, port's coming in, but the porta key from Kraken. He should be fine. Yeah, they're just going to port in to protect the tower. Not go for a counter kill by any means. So the roaming continuing to be pretty effective here for Reason, but it still feels like Lion Esports Club has a lot going for them. I mean, they've had the full Grimoire now on Jonas of Fan, and that's on top of the Shrunken Head going to be in the works here, on top of the Icon of the Goddess that he went initially, which doesn't even have any charges. Only has 2 charges still. So, again, he really hasn't been making the most efficient. So, yeah, it's kind of unfortunate for his sake that he didn't go the Grimoire first, because his farm would even be that much better right now, you'd figure. But, again, it's definitely hindsight. It made sense at the time he bought it. The game just didn't pick up like that. So, what did Moon Queen buy? They have that token of life on her. She is Assassin Shroud. Okay, so she's going to go the Genjiro route here. A little more defensive capabilities, as well as some good burst damage. Middle lane, Tsunami charged the Flux! As soon as he PK'd in, that caught him off guard. He takes a Sheepstick, but 0 follow-up after that. So Sheepstick is going to be down right here. Oh, there's a pause. This is a bad pause time. You see the Sheepstick going to be down for another 17 seconds. 18 seconds even, but... And I wonder, you see Imberboy's back at the base currently. Maybe he's having some issues, but... Okay, so. It's about damn time. Quick strat pause, perhaps. Not sure. But anyways, middle tower. They're just done initially. Yeah, they're going to give it up. The Hellborn have destroyed no reason to fight it right there. Moon Queen has that token for another 2.5 minutes. Obviously showing the Assassin Shroud now. They're going to do some chip damage to her. Try to get her to a vulnerable spot to jump. Now, that's another thing about Lions, too. They've been really staying in this game, if not even having leads at points such as this, you can argue, without actually landing a Flux NG combo. I don't even know if I've seen Flux actually use a discharge in an actual team fight. I mean, I remember earlier on in the game he was using it to maybe try to save his teammates in other lanes, but I don't recall him using it in these. Not that we've had many absolute 5v5 team fights by any means, but there was one at the top lane where NG got picked off the bat. Obviously, he didn't use it right there, and I guess that's kind of really been the only major fight that's happened. So. He's not even really been able to use that discharge effectively like he's wanted to, and again with that engineer especially. So that's another thing that at least Lions has in the back of their mind, like, okay, we do have that as well, that if we can pull that off and really secure something. But at the same time, the Legion side, a Firebrand now purchased by Sandwraith. So again with that Mocker Brilliance after the Shrunken here, about a 30-minute mock. And now he has a Firebrand to follow. So his GPM, it's definitely risen. I mean, you do see Moon Queen still staying above, though. There's the full Shrunken on Wretched Hag. As always, a huge pickup onto him. Flux, 1,800 more gold saved up on himself. Frostwolf Skull seems like it could be a next possibility for him. But obviously, he would have a ways to go. He'd have a ways to go. So token of life about 55 seconds here, so they're kind of going to let it wear off. They're trying to maybe get a pick here at the top lane, play extra aggressive, but as you can see, Reason Gaming already porting out, so that's not going to happen. So yeah, Lion's not going to really use the token in terms of pushing crazy into the base by any means. Instead, just going to continue to farm it up, and if anything, try to get that Genjiro finish now, I'm sure, on the Moon Queen. Behemoth actually working on the Storm Spirit here. Solid item choice. Kraken going the Shrunken. So no Soul's Bulwark either on either side. Yeah, no Soul's Bulwark on either side. That's kind of another item that is being not really addressed here. I think Kraken now is probably going to go for that Souls. But, ooh, top lane. That's just the illusions. Just the illusions. Chasing after Bubbles up here. And he'll be fine. So the tokens weren't off. So what, at about the 38.5 minute mark. Probably around 38 minute mark. We'll see Kongor be resurrecting here. And I'm sure that'll be a battleground, as it usually is. Especially in games like this, where it really just is very back and forth, very even. Both teams have their advantages, no doubt. Behemoth has really proved to be a big factor here, honestly. His initiation it really is one of the best in the game. I don't think there's any doubting in that. Behemoth with the portal key. His initiation is one of the strongest in the game. He has a great rotation to stun lockdown. Great surprise factor. A lot of burst damage coming out from him alone to lead the way in. He can set up nicely for the follow-up, so. We are going to see a Geometer Spain in the making now for Sandwraith. So even more illusions going to be had here. And again, that Genjiro is just around the corner. Another 3,000 gold on Flux. Santa wouldn't be surprised to see a Frostal Skull on him. Possibly coming out. Then you have 16 more hundred on Hag. So, you know, you're almost at the point where this Icon of the Goddess, it still is. I mean, you've invested the gold into it. You might as well. I was going to say that maybe even thinking about selling just to help buy that sheepstick sooner than later. Maybe if it does get to a point where a fight's about to happen and she would need to sell that to get the sheepstick, I could see that happening. But not that it's, again, being useless in her inventory right now by any means. It's just not nearly as effective as you was hoping it to be. So she's going to go to the bottom lane, though, pick up some more farm right there. So, again, this game is continuing to be in a very farm-heavy state now for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Well, even longer than that. So she is going to get a Blessed Orb. So, yeah, definitely on her way to a sheepstick. Moon Queen has enough for that sheepstick. Where are they jumping? They were jumping Wretched Hag. But she's able to blink away in time. So middle lane, those are just illusions. How do they try to jump her? I guess they try to jump her with the sheepstick, it looks like. But she got the Striker Net off, so I think she just got that off before she was jumped. But she does live nonetheless. And so now Mirage is going to be on cooldown for another 55 seconds. Only an 80-second cooldown at level 3. Not the biggest. So again, Moon Queen has enough for that Genjiro finish, but possibly either saving up for buyback on top of that, or could be a similar rage. I definitely wouldn't be surprised to see that coming out here from Moon Queen. Similar rage. And that's another thing too. Actually, her aura. Of course, you see Wretched Hag being another ranged kind of carry presence, so she definitely benefits from that. And then on top of that, you have Andromeda's aura, so they got the aura stacking going on. With the Aurora for the matter. Okay, she is going to go full symbol, yeah. So feeling like they have enough damage at this point that it's more about her just staying alive at these times and see where that's coming from. 2,200 life now on her. So yeah, as long as she can survive that initial onslaught, that she'll be able to stay alive and recover in those fights. So Kongor's up, and look at the minimap. Both teams heading in that direction. You do see Reason Gaming on the front lines. Andromeda kind of poking in there a little bit. No initiation, though, coming from that. Yeah, we're at that tense moment now. I mean, both teams have been farming so long that it just very likely is going to come down to the 1-5. Bubbles finds a chance. Going on the Moon Queen right to the lockdown happening. Swap from Andromeda, though. Gonna save him. Playing the sacrificial lamb as always. And now Moon Queen's going to be fine. She's goes up. He has that symbol as well, remember. He's going to look to pound in the auto attacks. And now he's doing symbol attacks with the Moon. Release cracking the pulling him in. Doesn't matter, though. Sandwraith lockdown. The energy field doing work. The discharge came out. And that's that combo making some big plays. Bubbles goes down. So the Flux NG combo finally is able to be used as they wanted it to. And it works out big time right there. Behemoth, he never got his opportunity. He never got his opportunity to do his thing right there. And I wonder if the Flux ended actually disoriented, kind of screwed that up. So much going on there. I wasn't exactly sure, but he could not get a shockwave off. He could not jump in with the porta key for whatever reason. And before you know it, you have Lions winning that fight. They're doing Kongor. Kongor goes down, token of life on Moon Queen now. And it is pretty comfortable spot all of a sudden for Lion Esports Club after that fight. So that all started with the Bubbles jump. They thought they had it. I mean, it was a pretty good one, the Sheepstick to open on a Moon Queen, but obviously that's what Andromeda does. She was in the right position, sitting in the back. Silka got the swap off early enough. And again, I would really also like to see what Behemoth got occupied by as well, because they really need him to be able to jump in those fights. I mean, kind of just as a point, that's the Flux NG combo. Behemoth is as well for the Legion team. He's their big initiation tool. Not able to do that, though, and now Moon Queen, she's on her way to even finishing that Genjiro now. Flux is barely going to live up here at the top side. Oh, man. Sandwraith needed one more auto attack. He did not want to risk going for it, though. He could have gotten it, but he did not want to risk it. He knew that there was support kind of nearby. And so he falls back before he goes all the way. So Flux barely lives. The Mirage is usually see the power throw coming through, just missing. So Super KGE is going to be fine in the long run. Blessed Orb just purchased by Super KG right there. There's the Genjiro pickup. Moon Queen obviously doesn't need the buyback at this point. He already has the token, so 5.5 minutes there. A Sheep Stick going to be coming out. These big items now. These really luxury style items are coming out now for Lion Esports Club. So that window here for Reason Gaming has definitely closed a lot. Your Sandwraith is pretty farm, but it is starting to drop off a bit compared to that of the Hellborn side. So they still have strong initiation, as does the Hellborn side, but if they can get a good Behemoth jump, that could be the difference maker. He's also level 14, so doesn't have that level 3 Shockwave just hit either. And that definitely hurts a little bit. See Sandwraith just sending illusions up top right there to farm a little bit of the creep wave, but not the biggest steal in the world. Got to think, though, with this token, and now especially with that Genjiro purchase, Lion's going to be looking to make something happen here in the near future. Top lane, actually, Wretched Egg is going to be locked down. Wretched Egg will fall. Kraken and Sandwraith come together. You see the power throw even coming through just in case as insurance. That's a big pick. Wretched actually just bought, too. Oh, man, she just bought that Sheep Stick. That is a huge pick all of a sudden coming out from our Legion team. So you see what Lions is doing. Their cast is starting to head back. You got Moon Queen still pushing, but she has a TP. Oh, and she doesn't have a TP. Interesting. So what is Reason Gaming going to do here? I'm sure they were aware of that. They probably saw Moon Queen, but they really can't go full force. I mean, they don't really have the most numbers there either. Bubbles is making its way up. You do see Behemoth and Luna running up there as well. But, yeah, they just if all of them were there, yeah, they would be pushing top right now, guaranteed. But they weren't really all there. That was just Kraken and Sandwraith alone getting that gank. So they honestly can't make the biggest capitalize off of that kill. So that really isn't the biggest deal now in the end. I mean, Reason Gaming barely got anything out of that. It's because the fact that she just used a lot of her gold to buy the Sheep Stick anyways. Moon Queen was just free farming in the meantime while that was happening. She continued to do so. It really did not hurt Lion Esports Club, honestly. So good idea, great pick. Just could not get the follow-up. So you still have Lions, and Wretched Hag is going to be resurrecting here in a couple seconds. I guess it took a charge off her icon, if anything. Or a couple charges for that matter. Again, not the biggest deal, though. And now you see Lions like, okay, now it's our turn. Now it's our turn. Token of Life has 3 minutes remaining on it. And Moon Queen even has a buyback at this point, too, if it calls for it. Brutalizer going to be purchased by Sandwraith, so they're all in. Sandwraith does not want the buyback. He wants the next level item here. He wants the Brutalizer. Here we go. Sheep Stick on a Moon Queen. Fidget Stun. They're kind of overlapping, though, and, yeah, they're not going to follow it up. So they won't have a Sheep Stick now for a little bit here. Spam damage continuing to happen. Excuse me there. Moon Queen doesn't want to let that get to her too much. She'll just go over to these creeps. Unfortunately, there's none there to farm. So not going to break through just yet. Enough creep push back here coming out from Reason to give Lions a reason to fall back. Triple stack Ancients on the Legion side. Maybe they'll look to steal those here. There's the spawn, though. She actually uses the symbol, and look at that. It just heals up in a matter of seconds. So, yeah, won't have the symbol buff now, but they don't necessarily know that unless they just see her at full life. They probably figure, like, okay, she might have used that. So she won't have the symbol here initially, but again, she has a token, so she probably wouldn't want to use it anyways until after she resurrects. So tower goes down. They're still going to go in. Oh, they're going to full out initiate. Actually, they jump. The Sheep's got a Behemoth. They know that's the target. Bapos comes out. Behemoth's dead. He's not buying back. Energy field. The Flux discharge. Kraken comes over with this guy. There's the discharge coming out. And Sandwraith in the meantime during all this, he's just trying to run basically. Moon Queen's full go. The Sugarnut's going to wear off. She has a symbol though. She still has a token. Bubbles comes back into the fight with the buyback. The Kelphiel comes out. But look at Moon Queen. She's just too damn strong. The auto attacks into the well now. She will start falling back. Flux and Engineer did get picked off. Andromeda swap wasn't even needed right there. But still, Lion Esports Club definitely coming out on top of that fight. They forced a buyback out of Bubbles, and now they're going to stand their ground at the melee racks. You see the Glaives doing what they do. They're bouncing around in the background. Kraken, the Tsunami charge, didn't actually stun Ratchet Hag. Swap from Andromeda coming out. She will die, but look at Moon Queen, the damage on a Kraken. The Sonic screen to follow. Kraken's going to end up falling right here. He does have a buyback, but the melee racks is going to fall. And the ranged racks going as well. So
a Legion barracks has been destroyed.
How about that? Lion Esports Club, they choose to set the tone to that fight right there. They jump in. They jump Behemoth. I mean, that shows you how much they respect the initiation power of Behemoth. And that definitely worked. You see top lane. Tower will fall right here. Wretched Hag actually getting chain stunned by Behemoth. And that won't be enough for the kill. But at what cost here? You see the Sword Spirit going up. Not going to be enough, though. He falls as soon as it comes down. Moon can be a lockdown. This is going to use a symbol. He has a token. Wants to use a symbol, though. Wants to stay alive for now. Gets charged into the cliff. But now he's coming back with full force. He's putting in the auto attack. Symbol we're off, though. The auto attacks are still damn strong. The takeover use. Kraken's going to end up falling to the Glaives. Holy crap. Hat-trick coming out for Fuzi. He was attacking the take cover Bubbles that whole time. And it still killed Kraken. And Aluna basically helps him right there. She powered those to kill him, giving him plenty of time to resurrect to full life. He's going to shrug an head right there. He is going to get locked down, but now here comes Engineer. The energy field back up. And now the auto attacks again, raining from Moon Queen. Has a symbol coming up here shortly. Has it up now. Bubbles back in. The Sheepstick coming out. Moon Queen being locked down, but now Andromeda's back as well. And she's going to go right in. Aluna is going to, holy crap, fall. Well, Moon Queen did it. Moon Queen did it. The farm Moon Queen comes through. Fuzi's 700 plus GPM now. Reason Gaming does not want to quit, damn it, but Bubbles gets killed in the background. Sandwraith is now in trouble. Sandwraith gets fall back in with the discharge. The Bat Blast that whiffed, it didn't matter. Kraken discharges back to base. GG, well played. Lion Esports Club will take game number 2 when they take the series here in the round of 8. What a fun series, though, really. Props to Reason Gaming. Again, it's good to see a new sponsorship or coming back sponsorship on the scene, and Reason Gaming, they're a great one, and it's fun to see them back. Kind of really the former Justice League team to an extent here coming out. But in the end, they're going to be knocked down to the losers bracket now. Obviously still involved in Cycle 6, but they'll continue on tomorrow in the losers bracket. Lion Esports Club, it was not an easy series at all. It was definitely not an easy series. But they do pull through 2-0. And obviously that means they're moving on. They play the winner of IG versus Denial Esports. And, of course, that series is being casted by Colecast over there. As you could definitely head on over there to check that one out. As it looks like that one's actually in game number 3. So, with that said, it looks like this series here, tmsR versus the Law. In fact, let's actually jump into this one now. Might as well. These are special powers. So, Lions moving on. Let's see tmsR versus the Law. Let's see how this one goes. Let me just switch the interface fix here real quickly. It's the Law. You got too much sugar.
Captain's pick.
Oh, are they pausing? Oh, nope, never mind.
It's about damn time.
Hello. All right, so it's 1-0 tmsR. Too much sugar. All right, here we go. Let me just save this here real quickly, and we should be good to go. So that's what we do in HoN Tour, especially in these early rounds. Let's jumping into another match here. So you see too much sugar. They're up 1-0 in this series. It looks like they're in a pretty good spot here in game number 2. Hey, they have a Moon Queen too. Does the Law, that is. Too much sugar, though. They're actually not worried about that, apparently. Soul Steel is pretty damn farmed. You got the Assassin Trout Shieldbreaker level 3, I take. Level 2, actually. Who's that? That's Kraken in the front grounds. He has a barbed armor, it looks like. Looks all buffed up with that barbed armor used. Barbed armor also on round. There's a lot of barbed armors coming out here against the likes of that Moon Queen. So how was Sequence doing on Moon Queen? 450 gold per minute, not too bad. But Haxren, he is the name of the game here. 650 GPM here for your Soul Steel. Look at that max damage, 384. That helps having an Andromeda buff as well. Holy crap, though. 384 max damage coming out from Soul Steel. And that's still with the level 2 Shield Breaker. And he has the Assassin Trout on top. So it looks like too much sugar right here. They're going to fall back into the Kongor pit. Go for a Kongor kill, perhaps. I don't even know why I said perhaps. That's what they're doing. Ward is sight by Panny. Placed into the pit right there to give them some vision at least. So they know what's up. A Pound Die is going to be used, and that should be counted pretty quickly here by our Legion team. So it looks like tmsR ran maybe even some kind of an aggressive trial in here. They got the Andro torture supports. Unless they just babysat and just didn't, or 2-2-1, maybe a suicide. Yeah, K's on Kraken, probably suicide that. Again, not too sure. Just jumping into this one, obviously, so whatever. We got what we have now. That's what matters. The tablets over here on the Hellborn side. He got Shrunkins on Master of Arms and Moon Queen. Brodek's 5 level, by the way, so apparently he's playing for the Law now. I know we mentioned that in the last cycle even. Of course, he left Excellent now a couple weeks ago, even nearly a month ago at this point. But it looks like he's found a new home, perhaps, with the Law here, so that's good to see. Great player, of course. Kongor, though, is going to actually fall this time, and that will be now a token of life.
One big ass monkey
on a Soul Stealer. I don't assume that's a third Kongor kill. No, yeah, no bananas being picked up or anything, so. Kongor goes down. Too much sugar being up 1-0. They have a pretty good lead here. 12,000 gold lead, 13,000 experience lead, but Moon Queen is fairly farmed himself. He's got that Shrunken Geo's Whispering Helm combo. Another 1,800 gold saved up. Buyback situation. Oh, wow. Actually, a lot have been used. Really on both sides. The Hellborn team, the Master of Arms is out of buybacks. Moon Queen still has her both. Rally's used one. You got Soul Stealer and Andromeda, though, using one of their own. Mind Trap here from Biver coming out. Couple of mines. Is that level 4 mines? Yeah, level 4 mines from him. That's some possible good damage if they run into that. Kraken. Oh, Kraken's going to be jump right here, actually. Seismic Slam. He's tanky, though. He is damn tanky. He charges away. No barbed armor going to be used, however. Oh, but Moomietta gets caught. So after it's all said and done. Oh, the swap from Andromeda. Tank if that keeps him alive. I don't know about that, though. I honestly don't know about that. I love the idea, but Andromeda, she actually gave him a bound eye right there where Torture wouldn't have. Yeah, don't know if I like that. So, but in the end, Andromeda goes down. And, you know, obviously he started with Kraken, and we saw it's tanky. He actually didn't activate the barbed armor that whole time, too. I was a little surprised after he got out of the stun. He just was worried about surviving. Soul Stealer at the top lane. Soul Stealer by himself. Ravener's here as well. He gets a soul for his stop. Is that going to be enough, though? No, and he falls. Token of Life going to bring him back up, but now Haxman in trouble. Haxman being locked down. He's going to use the Assassin Shroud. They have Vision. The Moon Finale still going off. They do have the Vision here, and they are going to do enough damage to actually see him down and get the kill. They have the bound die. Now the bottom rack's actually being cleared up down there with the range rack, so they are getting some good creep push here on tmsR, but good fight from the Law right there. I mean, they pick a middle, they make their way top. Too much sugar. COD just pushing a little bit too much there. And looks like the Law's actually hanging in there here. And again, especially against the Moon Queen. Now Master of Arms, level 3? Yeah, level 2 shield breaker. Purchased onto him. Behemoth's Heart is finished on Keizu. So yeah, he's able to pick up that now. Do they have a Soul's Bulwark? What? They don't have a Soul's Bulwark over here on the Legion side? I'm actually shocked by that. I'm shocked by that. Holy crap. Especially seeing Keizu's items. I mean, I figured he would have at least had a Soul's Bulwark, but wow. I mean, they're going against a Moon Queen, a Master of Arms, a Rally. They have some good physical threat themselves with Soul Stealer. Am I missing that? Did they have a Souls? They do not have a Soul. I'm shocked. He finishes a full Behemoth, but I think they really need that Soul's Bark. I mean, he has a ring mill obviously on him, so I guess he's probably going to be going for that now. He actually should shortly have it, but yeah, I mean, now 37.5, nearly 38 minutes into this game. A little bit later than he maybe wanted to have that. Speaking of the builds, too, you got Slicks, by the way. He went Tablet Portal Key here. He actually went the barbed armor himself, as we talked about earlier. Is there pauses coming out here? I think Panny might be having some internet issues. Not sure, again, how this game's been exactly going on here, but sounds like they might have been pausing every now and then, having some lag issues, but I guess he might be good now. Anyways, pushing the middle lane. You see Master of Arms. He's going to throw down the goo. Trying to scare them off a little bit. In fact, barbed armor was used by Ravener there. He thought something might have been happening. Or actually, just standing in the goo, I guess, also does do some good return damage to Master of Arms. So maybe just having fun with that. Not the biggest cooldown either. Genjiro finished on Soul Stealers. They got that big item now. 4,500 gold on Moon Queen, by the way. So what will she go? We saw last game how Fuzi ended up going for the assassin try into eventual symbol. We'll see if Sequence here goes a similar route. I mean, looking at what they're dealing with, it's... I mean, I think they have some good damage. I think she can go for the symbol here, just straight into symbol next. And just worry about surviving. They got Master of Arms, level 3 shield breaker. He's put out some good damage. Raleigh can do some decent stuff. It's tough. It's definitely preference here, I think, for Sequence, so we'll see what he goes. Top lane, though, tmsR. They are pushing in. Torture in the front lines. He just says, come at me, bro. I'm sure he is actually saying that. It's Moomiander after all. Tower's going to fall. Deny really doesn't matter. So tower goes down. There is a Soul's Bulwark, by the way, on Rally over here, and now there is one on Kraken, so yeah, they do have it now. Currently set defensive, actually. And again, that really doesn't surprise me. And she is going to go symbol, looks like. Yeah. Buys the Behemoth Art right there. Not the Behemoth Art, but the X, the Malphite there. She's not going to finish it, even though she could. Wants to save her buyback. You see tmsR kind of slowly making the way in there. Are they waiting for the barbed armors, if anything? But Master of Arms continuing to make it difficult. The double barbed armor on the goo right there, yeah. So you can see what their strategy is. He puts down the goo, they run on top of it with the double barbed armor. Causes issue. Nice score. Yeah, 05 and 15, not bad. That's Andromeda for you. Okay, here we go though. Kraken again, taking some good damage from last. He is damn tanky though. He is damn tanky. Master of Arms, stun coming out. Goo's put down. Not gonna have fun. Ravner actually jumped on the Moon Queen. Here we go. Rally misses that compel in the background. The lockdown of Ravner. Solstice in the meantime, putting in the auto attacks. The energy field comes out. Moon Finale though gonna be used. Swap though from Andromeda coming out on a Kraken. Gonna be fine. Soul Stealer is struggling. It is down. His Kenjiro's down. Everything's basically down for him. So he needs to fall back. So Andromeda and Rally end up exchanging lives right there. And that might be the end of that. But you look at the situation. tmsR, they're still happy with this. They got the bottom lane continuously pushing in. So they know the law's having to take care of that down there. So they go back in. And there's the full symbol now purchased by Moon Queen. So she should definitely still have enough for a buyback on top of having the full symbol now. And that's good to see for them. Moomiander actually has a Gnome's Wisdom picked up, so yeah, I mean they clearly were focusing a lot on some good armor stacking, you know, the Sackstone, the Gnome's Wisdom, but it didn't have the Soul's Bulwark until just a couple minutes ago. And still a little bit curious about that. But anyways, you see Haxer in 19 more 100 gold saved out the Falcon Jiro. Over the Shield Breaker. I would think a Wingbow would actually be pretty damn good here. No Savage Mace ideas in the makings, at least just yet. Master of Arms, that could be his potential follow-up, maybe pending what Soul Stealer goes for. Engineer cleaning out the top, and actually it's level 16 right there, so pretty good job by Biver. Able to get his level 3 energy fuel now, ready to go. Master of Arms middle. I was going to say, needs to be a little careful because they're ready to jump. In fact, they want to go for him, but not going to happen. Oh, could you imagine if they jump onto that? How that would change. So they're actually going to fall back. Not worry about that. Oh, apparently Panny is having some more issues here, unfortunately. He is AFK in the well. Yeah, so like I said, it seems like they've been pausing quite a bit this game. There goes the disconnect. Yeah, if they are out of pauses, I mean, you know, okay, well, I guess they do have a pause. So they're going to throw the pause out. And see what happens. See what happens. All right, so he is coming back. Looks like he just even crashed right there. And then we'll be good to go. All the opinions. All the opinions.
It's about damn time.
Exactly. Something tells me there's been some pauses this series. Something tells me that. It's just the way the teams are reacting. All right, here we go. So back to the game now. See, tmsR actually a little curious pushing the bottom lane. You know, that one's already cleaned up, so I'm not sure this makes the most sense, honestly. If anything, they should be pushing bottom or middle to top like they were earlier. It's kind of just knocking on the door a little bit, and not going to be much of a reaction, just forcing Law, again, to kind of just stick in there. So you have Panda did right there. They're using the Deja Vu to place the ward aside, then quickly port back as soon as he did. Some smart plays right there. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Hack's going to be jumped right here. Hack's may fall. Shrunken Echoes off Kongor. Is he actually going to live? He's trying. He is. Power throw. Oh, the power throw even connected, nearly ending his life, but he barely lives. Oh, look at that. A double damage when nearby. But meanwhile, down here, what is going on? Too much sugar. They're just getting caught by themselves for some reason. Torture is going to get bursted down. Eventually. There you go. Smackdown. Not too sure. Not too sure about that. I mean, Solstice, they're pushing middle by himself right there. That's, I mean, they got some good jump here on the Legion on the Hellborn side, and it's a very risky move, and that obviously nearly backfired there. So they lose Torture, not the end of the world. But I think tmsR kind of, I don't know. It's hard to say because again, this is a, you want to say maybe just group up and push, but this is not an easy team to just push into by any means. So I can see where tmsR is a little bit uncertain of what exactly to do here. As the next Kongor is, I'm not exactly sure when, but I can't think too much longer. So let's see there. He did use a token fairly early. Oh, what am I saying? Kongor's up. Kongor just came up, so there you go. There's the Kongor. And obviously going to be a big part. Andromeda. Uh-oh. Andromeda's going to tap it over the ledge. We'll be fine. Solstice, they're coming in with the Kongor, but actually ball lightning. Slicks thought of where we're going. Slicks is now in trouble. Swapped up from Andromeda's on the side exam will hit him. Solver's in the background. You see Engineer dropping pretty quickly. Gets the energy field off though. Rally did fall as well. Moon Queen fighting with the Soul Stealer. Soul Stealer's just dropping way too fast, but so's Moon Queen now. Moon Queen will live. No, she won't. She goes down with Soul Stealer right down the Moon Queen. Not enough as well. You see Rounder ball lightning connects. Is he going to port? Yes, he is. Beautiful ball landing from Slicks, and Kraken will finish him off. Luna trying to get away, but that should be a genocide for tmsR. Maybe not, actually. Beautiful tablet by a Panty over the ledge. A lot of beautiful things taking place in that fight, but the big picture, too much sugar. They come out on top right there. The last buyback by Haxorn, by the way, he actually uses it, and now they're going cutthroat. Moon Queen, she can buy back. Master of Arms cannot, though, and nobody else can, actually. Oh, Engineer can, but he has an energy field. Won't even be up. So, yeah, tmsR really trying to finish that. Okay, they're going to go for Kongor. Moon Queen does buy back. Can they actually stop that, though? Kraken's pushing the middle. He's kind of distracting them, if anything. He is so damn tanky. Yeah, there's no way those two are going to kill him. So, yeah, Kraken's keeping them occupied. This will be a token of life now for the Legion team here.
Was one
really actually sniped Kongor, but
monkey.
Not enough. So now full demonic breastplate finish on Kraken. Yeah, that whole fight right there, I mean, that was, again, another tmsR move of Slicks jumping in. Very ballsy. That's Slicks for you, but obviously the end result worked out very well for them. The Soul Burst obviously did a lot. And that's, again, I find myself reiterating this a lot, but I really think it's something you have to stress. The Soul Burst, great damage ability. But there really is a lot more to it than just the damage. Both the move speed and the base damage, minus 25% base damage to all enemy heroes, including heroes like Moon Queen. During all of that. So even if they have the Shrunken Head up, I believe that is superior magic, by the way. I'm not even going to say if I know that or not. I'm honestly not even sure. If it isn't superior magic, then obviously it's maybe a little bit less impactful if the Shrunken Head just removes it and you can't use it through it anyways. But I want to say it is. I want to say it is, and that even if you have a Shrunken Head up, it'll actually still go through and affect you. But the point being, it's actually another cool part of that Soul Burst ability on top of just the great damage. But again, Haxorn, he's up here by himself. Needs to be careful. You see the Law, though, they're falling back because actually his teammates tmsR, they're coming up. You got Kraken kind of leading the way right there. Just going to throw up some counter wars. Kraken is so damn tanky, man. His armor now he has plenty of armor. That folded my another barbed armor. They're really stressing these barbed armors here on tmsR. Just picked up by Torture. And it's for good reason. I mean, it really is. It's a lot of just overall damage coming up between like Moon Queen, Master of Arms, and also just a lot of physical damage. And Barbed Armor is good for against that. I do think he, going for a Frost Shield play could have arguably been better, but at the same time, this is your main support Torch. Or I guess in this game he's actually playing the secondary support when you look at it, but still not able to get the most massive farm himself. So here we are. Ooh, double damage on Soul Stealer. Double damage Soul Stealer. He has 4,300 gold. He doesn't have a buyback though. What does the Shrunken Head look like? 5 seconds. I have no clue why he's not rebuying a Shrunken Head. No buyback, 4,400 gold. He could easily rebuy the Shrunken Head, get another 5 seconds on that Shrunken. I mean, there's really, you look at his inventory right now. Of course, at the same time, he might just want to buy an item after the token use, but I think you could argue another 5 seconds on your Shrunken is pretty damn important. But here we go. They're going to push in. Double damage once again on Soul Stealer. He's just taking the damage. Riley's going to go in. The follow-up. Swap from Andromeda fairly early, but here we go. Energy Field going to be activated. Barbed Armor up, though. Luna's dropping in the background. You see, there's the mines going out, Soul Stealer. He did have a Shrunken Head up, though, so I guess it really didn't matter. Moon Queen in the background. Torch was in no man's land right there. Really pushed up. Now Moon Queen's being locked down. They got the melee rack. She has a snake bracelet evading a little bit. She doesn't have her symbol, though. The release Kraken. The big Salmer's coming out right as he falls outside. Their set went off. It didn't matter. Down he goes. Here's the resurrection from Soul Stealer. But now the Legion team, they're running away. Barbed Armor from Kraken going back in. Ball lightning, it's going to miss. But it might not matter. Moon Queen will fall. Moon Queen's not buying back once again. Raleigh is. He buys back. He comes back, and they take out Kraken. They take out Ravener. Soul Stealer standing his ground, but Soul Stealer's in trouble. The mines, the mine to finish him off right there. And Soul Stealer will go down. Excuse me, Moon Queen is buying back. That was his final buyback right there. And so yet again, they do hold it off. tmsR, a lot of overextending there. A lot of overextending there. But they did get the melee racks. So they got the melee racks, but I mean, again, a lot of overextending. Soul Stealer doesn't have a buyback now. Nobody has buybacks for that matter. So Soul Stealer and Ravener especially. And you see the law. They're like, well, this is our time. If any, it really is. This is their time to. This is probably the best chance they're going to get here in this late game stage. To try to make something happen. So. And again, I'm not saying another 5 seconds on a Shrunken Head would have actually made the difference there in the last fight, but it is something to think about. But again, the other part of it is now that when he resurrects, he will have another 5,100 gold to buy actually a full another item here if he wants. Moon Queen right off the bat being locked down. Moon Queen was not ready for this. A similar range. The Shrunken, he barely not gonna be enough. The Barbed Armor is doing so much right there as well. Oh, the Barbed Armor is beautiful choices, really. The symbol, I mean, that was with the symbol array jump. You could tell that was affecting things massively. So he ends up dying. So, yeah, the dive there from Sequence was not ready. He's like, Soul Stealer's dead. We have a chance. And Ravener, but apparently not. Torture, Kraken, and Andromeda, more than enough right there to hold them off. And, again, it goes back to, I think that was the loss, really. That was their best hope that they're going to have in this game at this point. And now with that death, she's not going to be out for 45 seconds. Engineer's not going to resurrect. He doesn't have buyback, unfortunately. Mine Trap, not so much of a Mine Trap anymore. Only 3 mines here. Soul Stealer comes up and he actually buys a level 3 Rift Shard, so he does end up using that gold. Oh, Courier's picked off. That's just a B-star for KZ. That's not.
The Legion have destroyed a Hellborn tower.
But Melee Rax is going to end up dropping right here. More than likely, and we're getting very close to those Mega Creep state.
A Hellborn barracks has been destroyed.
Mega Creep state. So yeah, there goes the range tracks up at top. Those range tracks are going to be falling as well.
A Hellborn barracks has been destroyed.
And that should be clearing things up. So tmsR, pending some amazing, unbelievable comeback from the law. I think they have just done it right there. See Soul Stealer pushing up. Oop, gonna miss though into the well. So Moon Queen's back up. This is going to be it for the law. They have a last stand here. Ravener says, I'm not going to give them a chance. Sheep stick onto a Luna in the background. Rally, he missed that compel though. Rally's going to fall to Chris. Definitely massive here from Soul Stealer. Releases Kraken on top of Moon Queen. He gets tapped into forward. He splits up with the Jammer's Man. He still has the symbol once again. There goes the Storm Spirit. He has a symbol. And why is he running? What is that going to accomplish? Again, with the bar, it wouldn't matter really. But GG's coming out. And too much sugar. Too much sugar. They are going to take the series. 2 games to nothing. Over the law, so obviously again jumping into this series here a little bit later on in game number 2. Definitely glad ended up pretty well. And tmsR, they had some moments where wondering those are the best choices, but it did work out. It does work out in the end. It's always scary, especially against the Moon Queen, but they make it work. So tmsR, they're going to be moving on, and they actually are going to be set up to play of course Stay Green now. in the winter bracket semifinals. That, of course, will be the later match tomorrow. So that, as always, is going to be fun. In the bottom portion, you have HoN Esports Club. They're matching up against the winner of IG versus Denial, of course. That series is still going on, it looks like. Again, that is over there on Coldcast, so I want to make this one pretty quick here as far as a wrap-up. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, HoNcast is going to be done for now. IG versus Denial, it looks like that's a pretty damn good game as well. It's only about 20 minutes in. Head on over to twitch.tv/Coldcast and watch the finish of that series to finish things off for the night. That's going to be a fun one. I know I will be. With that said as well, I'm going to be obviously wrapping up here. I know I talked about the possibility of coming on my personal stream here tonight because of a couple of things. I'm not going to be coming on, at least initially. I may come on in an hour or so a little bit later on, but obviously that's also pretty late for especially a lot of the European crowd. So shout out to all the CP Kappas. You know I love you. And, definitely look forward to obviously continuing having some fun over there. But